The fucky building mentioned by Red Ghost was also on Lungcam Road, an imposing dark green skyscraper. While taking the elevator, Red Ghost casually said to Li Yan. People who come to the fucky building to watch boxing matches are either rich or noble. They spend at least a few million in one night. The boxers here get a cut. If you want to establish yourself here, you have to find a big sponsor to back you up. I'll handle that part, just don't say anything wrong. The elevator quickly came to a stop. As the elevator doors opened, Li Yan couldn't help but raise an eyebrow. The entire building from the 10th floor upwards had been opened up, creating a space that was about 30 meters high, with 4 viewing stands. 16 tasseled lanterns hung high, and the wooden escalators were covered with red carpet. In the middle, the marble ring was surrounded by white jade pillars, antique in style. There were female attendants in black tailcoats serving drinks to the guests. 0.42-meter-high screens faced the stands, ensuring that guests could see the boxers on the ring from any angle. Like it? The scene is grand enough, right? You're out of luck today, otherwise, there would be bunny girls to see. Red Ghost joked with Li Yan as a female attendant in a black tailcoat hurried over. Red Ghost, Mrs. Deng is demanding to see you. Red Ghost rubbed his face and said to Li Yan. A big sponsor is here. Saying that, he led Li Yan up the escalator and into a private box. Actually, Li Yan didn't quite understand why women would be attracted to the bloody scene of a boxing ring. All he could say was that the world was full of wonders. 2 people entered a small private box. As soon as the door opened, they saw glass shards all over the floor, colorful lights spinning around, and unfamiliar brands of foreign liquor and snacks on the coffee table. A woman in her 30s was sitting lazily on the sofa, her hair in big waves, long legs and slim waist, charming phoenix eyes, deep dimples on her face, and the corners of her mouth always unconsciously curled up, giving this woman a bit of fierceness. Why aren't you letting Ahong come? He's not at fucky. Has he gone outside Lung City for soup? Judy, Red Ghost really went out. The female attendant in the black tailcoat looked embarrassed. Someone next to her was cleaning up the broken bottles on the floor. Talking nonsense, I'm back, aren't I? Red Ghost, who had just stepped through the door, immediately spoke up. Everyone get out. The black tailcoat attendants looked relieved. Li Yan's eyes wandered between the woman and Red Ghost. He also wanted to leave, but was glared at by Red Ghost. Judy, why are you so angry? You'll get wrinkles. Red Ghost sat next to Judy, took 2 glasses of wine, and spoke sincerely to the woman. The woman took the glass, raised her chin, and said discontentedly, You finally show up, I haven't seen you all night, what are you doing? Do you know I'm in Lung City and deliberately avoid me? Of course not. I went to look after the new blood. Red Ghost sounded innocent, which, combined with his student-like face, was indeed quite lethal to women. Ah Yan, come here. Li Yan reluctantly walked over and squeezed out a smile. Judy. Judy looked Li Yan up and down. His cheeks were thin, his cheekbones prominent, and his chin was outlined with a beautiful groove. His eyebrows were slightly raised, his eyes steady. Judy took a sip of the golden liquid in her glass, making her lips even more red and attractive. He's quite handsome, I wonder if he can hold up. I like handsome men, but if they go up to the stage and get knocked down in 1 or 2 rounds, it's embarrassing for me. The last boxer I supported lost, and he Changhong made fun of me. As she spoke, her eyes suddenly lit up. Why don't you fight, Ahong? No matter how much you charge, I'll support you. Sure. Red Ghost nodded and drained his glass. But we should give new people a chance. So, if Ah Yen loses, I'll go down and clean up Higongzi for Judy. Judy revealed a sweet smile. That's settled then. She turned to Li Yan. Little brother, you have to last. Li Yan lowered his head and smiled faintly. Judy, you're joking. Red Ghost is my boss. It's embarrassing to make my own boss fight. I'd rather jump into the sea. The woman laughed so hard that she swayed. Oh, if you can hold on, I will definitely spoil you. Li Yan's temples twitched slightly, but his face was filled with a smile, showing no signs of discomfort. Don't say I don't take care of you. Judy is a big sponsor of the Lung City Ring. Her dead husband was a Taiping gentleman in his lifetime, and she herself is worth over 10 billion. She spends 700,000 or 800,000 on drinks every night. If you cling to her fragrant thigh, you'll definitely rise to the top. Li Yan rubbed his face like Red Ghost did at the beginning, and asked with a grin, so what do you want me to do? Red Ghost patted Li Yan's shoulder. If you win this match today, you'll have established yourself at the 6th ring. Show your mettle. I, Red Ghost, haven't taken in new blood in a long time, don't make me lose face. I can show my mettle, but not my coquettishness. As long as you don't make me sell my sex appeal, I'll even fight a tiger for you to see. Red Ghost's face broke into a shallow dimple. Get on the stage. Li Yan was the first to step onto the stage, glancing at the gamblers who were occasionally raising their hands to place bets, and finally cast his eyes on Judy behind the glass wall of the box. This woman was holding a wine glass, revealing a section of her fair wrist, and raised her eyebrows at Li Yan on the stage. "She's worth 10 billion, 3 million is just a drop in the bucket." With the increasingly enthusiastic cheers, Li Yan turned his head and looked at his final opponent of the day. A man in his 30s, with a sallow face, walked onto the stage. He was wearing a black practice suit, his expression cold. This man's name was Nan Juji, a fugitive wanted by the Japanese government. He had raped and murdered 7 young women in Hokkaido. His last victim was only 14 years old and was brutally dismembered by him. What Nan Juji didn't expect was that the girl was the only daughter of the vice chairman of the Inagawakai. As a result, he was hunted down by the Inagawakai. Having nowhere to go, he fled to Lung City. To put it bluntly, this man would die a terrible death even if he took one step out of Lung City. Nan Juji was proficient in firearms and daggers, and also had a set of skilled Okinawan Goju-ryu karate skills. Before Li Yan, he had already won 3 matches tonight. The lightest injury of his 3 opponents was having both arm bones dislocated and kidneys ruptured, and passed out in the ring. As the white towel hit the ground, Li Yan almost immediately charged forward, his right hand flashing out like lightning, smashing into Nan Juji's blocking elbow, his left palm sweeping towards Nan Juji's neck. His temper was outrageously violent. Everyone was surprised that this newcomer dared to reach out to Nan Juji, but Red Ghost focused his gaze on Li Yan's left foot, which had quietly moved half a step forward. Nan Juji twisted his waist, his back of the fist hit Li Yan's sweeping arm, his right hand straightened out, reaching for Li Yan's upper arm. The moment his palm touched Li Yan's shoulder, a smile appeared at the corner of Nan Juji's mouth. He didn't expect this tall and thin young man to be so weak. But his hands didn't stop, his 4 fingers exerted force, and his thumb, like a hook, ruthlessly dug into Li Yan's shoulder blade. Seeing Nan Juji grab Li Yan's shoulder, the stands immediately let out a heavy sigh. In the previous 3 matches, no matter how the situation had been, once Nan Juji got close and grabbed the opponent's shoulder, and showed his joint technique, the opponent almost had no chance to turn the table. Unexpectedly, Li Yan, who was under control, suddenly raised his right leg, using his previously half-stepped left foot as a pivot. His right foot shot up like a soaring dragon. The tip of his shoe fiercely kicked Nan Juji's chin, causing Nan Juji's neck to jerk back, and a mouthful of blood sprayed into the air. His right hand also weakly let go. Li Yan, seizing the opportunity, rushed forward, grabbing the wrist of Nan Juji, who was leaning backward. A fierce light flashed in the corner of his eye. The Goju-ryu originates from the southern Shaolin white crane style. Today, I'll let you pay your respects to your ancestors.